He set his glass down with a soft clink, calm and easy, and I stayed quiet, letting the moment settle. The music still played, the room still warm. When his hand brushed my waist, I froze, sensing a spark in the air, like a storm brewing. Before we dive in, if you've read this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps more than you know. And if you're new here, welcome. This is a great place to start. I'm glad you're here. All right, let's get to it. The glass felt warm in my hand, not from the whiskey, but from the way I gripped it. Distracted. Candles flickered on the table, their light dancing like whispers across the ceiling. A soft playlist hummed beneath it all. No lyrics, just quiet, steady ambiance. The room carried a faint scent of cinnamon from the tray by the sofa. I'd gone over every detail. I straightened the pillow's edge, stepped back, then forward again, smoothing the blanket's fold. Behind me, I knew he was watching. One hand in his pocket, the other holding his whiskey. That faint smile, the one he wore when we were kids, me. Clara, now 27, and him, James, 30, like he was recalling something I hadn't said aloud. I turned to him, holding out my glass. "This could be fun," I said. He didn't answer right away, just took a sip. Then he stepped closer, setting his glass down. My heart didn't race. But something in that moment hooked me, sharp and unyielding. There was something in the air, not hotter, not closer, just heavier. He placed his glass beside mine. His fingers grazed mine in the motion. Then he looked at me, his eyes cutting through the dim light like a blade, and said, "You don't have to plan everything, Clara." I didn't speak. I didn't smile, just let out a soft breath. He reached for the glass still in my hand, his touch deliberate, like he was unraveling me. He set it aside. That was the moment I didn't expect, but one I didn't fight. He said nothing more, just stepped closer, steady, calm, until we stood almost shoulder to shoulder. His presence didn't press. Everything stayed quiet. I felt his warmth just before his hand rested on my hip. It lingered, calm, not grasping, not daring, just there, unhurried. I didn't move. We turned slightly together until I faced him fully. I took a shallow breath, barely noticing the tremor in it. His eyes locked on mine for a moment. Then he leaned down, his lips brushing my cheek, his hand cradling my face like I was something fragile. His breath warmed my jaw, lingering. I didn't pull back. His hand slid to the small of my back. The pressure was light, but it straightened my shoulders, like he'd shifted my entire world before I could blink. He leaned closer to my collarbone, just once, just a touch, and it stopped me cold. My hands stayed at my sides. I hadn't meant to, but letting go felt easier than I'd expected, like stepping into a sin I hadn't known I wanted. I exhaled, slower this time. My chest rose slightly as I breathed, not dramatic, just unhesitating. His other hand rested on my blouse. He didn't pull. He didn't fumble. He undid the top button with one hand. His eyes met mine again, steady, unyielding, like he saw every secret I'd buried. I didn't look away, and the button came loose. I leaned back until my legs brushed the sofa. He followed, not stepping forward but moving with me, like a shadow I couldn't shake. His hand stayed steady until I adjusted to match him. He lowered himself beside me, not collapsing, not lounging, not rushing. His shoulder grazed mine. The silence between us was louder than words, thick with unspoken promises. Then, without a word, he lifted my hand and placed it on his chest. "Here," he said. His heartbeat was steady, slower than mine. I didn't pull away. His hand stayed over mine, guiding me to feel the calm I didn't have. My pulse was faster, sharper. I swallowed quietly. Then he shifted not his hand, but his presence, just a slight tilt. His forehead touched mine, and I felt the faint warmth of his breath. It was enough to drown in. Nothing more needed doing. The closeness said enough. His hands moved to my face, warm, still, just there. Then one slid down my arm, resting lightly behind my shoulder. He leaned forward a little, not pleading, just present. My shirt collar shifted where his arm brushed, but I didn't reach to fix it. The fabric had stretched, and I felt it move against my skin, a reminder of how close he was. I inhaled slowly, exhaled through my nose, steady and soft. He looked at me then, not speaking, not asking, just staying in that space for a moment. My hand stayed where it was. I didn't adjust. The silence wasn't empty, it was heavy, alive. The candles flickered nearby. The music played on, soft, melodic. I realized how still the air had grown, like the world was holding its breath. He didn't break the silence, and I didn't try to. I blinked slowly. My eyes had been locked on him too long without noticing. I sat down. The cushion shifted under me. Its warmth and texture grounded me, but barely. He moved too, not rushing, not lingering, and lowered himself to the floor beside the sofa, kneeling, balanced. For a moment, we didn't move. His hand hovered, then rested near me, quiet, unhurried. He took my hand and guided it to the armrest. The touch didn't pause, it steadied, then stilled. My sleeve had ridden up on one side. I noticed the shift in fabric against my skin, but I left it. He didn't speak. Neither did I. His hand stayed close, not touching, not seeking, just there, like a warning I didn't want to heed. The music hummed behind us. Its rhythm didn't match my breathing. My pulse felt slower now. He stayed still, not leaning, not leading, just close. He shifted carefully, his hand brushing my skirt as he moved. One knee edged forward, and I adjusted without being asked. The motion wasn't sudden, it just happened, like the next step in a dance we both knew. The distance between us closed again. I felt it in the air before I felt it anywhere else, a pull I couldn't name. A quiet, shared pause stretched. No pressure. He was close, present. His hand took mine, guiding it to the cushion's edge. Then he let go. His eyes stayed on me, calm, careful, and the room seemed to still around us, like we'd stolen time itself. My breathing was steady, though shallow. My shirt loosened again where his arm had brushed. I didn't reach for it. He raised one arm, resting it behind me, not pulling, just supporting. I let myself lean into him. The music played on, softer now, or maybe just farther away, like a memory fading. The moment turned quiet. His hand reached the nape of my neck, lingering, still warm. Then it slid along my shoulder's edge, over fabric, not skin. I felt my blouse crease under his fingers, a subtle claim I didn't resist. Nothing more. The candles flickered faintly, casting soft lines on the walls. I leaned into the silence again. No words, no rush, just balance. He looked at me, not to ask, not to lead, but to stay there. When I shifted to sit lower, he moved with me, not pulling but matching my descent. The cushions sank, and he followed, lowering himself to the floor beside the sofa. One knee stayed bent as he settled beside me, steady, deliberate. His hand took mine again, guiding it to the armrest. Then he sat back. One hand rested near me, not beckoning, not challenging, just there. The space between us was quiet, alive with what we didn't say. I leaned toward him, not from tension, but to meet the moment. His forehead touched mine again, and he exhaled softly. The sound was barely there, but it hit me like a confession. The contact didn't last. He shifted, slower, his hand near my shoulder, eyes still locked as he moved. We sat like that for a while, both upright, both close, the silence filling everything else, heavy with what we couldn't undo. The cushion's weight behind me, the warmth of the space beside me, my arm against his, the light, the air, the stillness. When I leaned forward again, he met me halfway. One arm slid behind me, steadying my shift, like he knew my body better than I did. My skirt adjusted slightly, but there was no rush, nothing planned. His hand stayed in the small space between us, not pushing, not asking. Finally, I rested my hand on his shoulder. He didn't move. He nodded once, soft, steady, and let the moment pass without touching it, like it was sacred. No tension, no urgency, just silence that stretched longer than I expected. And when it ended, it didn't really end. It sank into stillness, into warmth, into quiet, into something we didn't need to name. Be honest. If you were in my place, and he looked at you like that, would you step in or wait to see what he'd do next? Let me know in the comments. I'll read them. And if you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. Thanks for being here.